This is the AB4WS radio show. Every week, bringing you the exciting amateur radio news and information happening in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana areas.
The AB4WS radio show can be found on the Apple Podcast app or your favorite podcast application. And now also available on the AB4WS radio show YouTube channel. Our new Kentucky section manager, Bob K6ZZ, has gotten to work, and one of the many things he has already moved forward on is appointing a Kentucky section emergency coordinator, a position which has been vacant for some period of time. The new Kentucky section emergency coordinator is Dennis Lutz, W2QN. Dennis has a passion for Air East for some period of time and is an ASEC under Allen, Oregon as section manager. Dennis has set a goal to find and have appointed emergency coordinators for each of the 120 Kentucky counties. He'll be reaching out to find out the person that fits the position for each county. If you have suggestions, please reach out to him. At the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club meeting, the following were elected to officer positions within the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club. President Todd Sayers, KY4TLS. Vice President Larry Silverman, WB2GYS. Secretary Rod Milligan, KY4ROD. Treasurer Tim Lawrence, W4TWL. And Director Greg Howard, KQ4RIE. Congratulations to the new officers and good luck continuing to move the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club forward. Thanks to the previous serving officers who have since the rebirth of NKARC has continuously moved the organization quickly in a positive direction. Also, don't forget it's time to pay those yearly dues, so bring that renewal form found at nkarc.org website and your check to the annual Christmas dinner on December 15th at the Golden Corral, 5770 Houston Road in Florence, Kentucky. The WeatherNet exercise held on the multi-mode digital voice system of XLX 721 was a great success due to the tremendous support and check-ins from all the various supported modes of communication, as well as the fine work as net controlled by Asden, KO4YLT, who did an outstanding job. Fayette County emergency management officials involved in the exercise were very impressed by the efficiency and the support that came in from all over the Commonwealth for the exercise. Because of this event, they're planning future amateur radio collaboration. Mike, WB8VNH, the very nice ham, received a pretty cool and interesting QSL card as a result of his activation of Barnegat Lighthouse in New Jersey Parks on the Air, US 1609. Randy Tone commissioned Patty Martin to do a painting of the lighthouse for the activation as a QSL card from his October 26, 2025 at 1340 UTC QSO on 14.280. This is a pretty neat and whole new way to express your in the log. With the reopening of the FCC, there's a lot of catching up to do, and they're trying to get through the 43-day closure. First, they announced that those amateurs whose license expired or will expire between October 1st, 2025 and March 5th, 2026 may continue to operate upon completing their license renewal filing with the FCC. This move is to allow hams to continue operating even though the FCC backlog may take them a while to catch up. Those who took exams during the shutdown are beginning to see their licenses and upgrades come in, as well as other FCC action. It is expected that everything will be caught up by March. Catching up with those license backlogs, these licenses have been issued. And congratulations to newly licensed Travis Farley, Extra Class KZ4XY, Brian Ledoux, Technician KR4HPO, and Stephen Turner, General KR4HNG. Voice of America Museum in Westchester, Ohio will be the official stop on the Ohio Innovation Trail 2026, allowing the museum to shine a spotlight on the visionary thinkers and engineers and risk-takers whose inventions built the Bethany Station, backed up by the commitment and skill of the Crosley Corporation. Congratulations, and if you have never visited the museum, I highly encourage you to get up there and check it out. It's one of the best sites in our area, especially for radio history. For more information, go to voamuseum.org. Joe Vaughn, KF8ECP, is working on building a website as a portal for amateur radio information in the area. This is a great idea, and he's obviously put a lot of work on it and will continue to mature, build, and correct inaccuracies. I highly suggest you check it out. It's at kf8ecp.site. If you have additions or corrections or other suggestions, reach out to him at kf8ecp@usa.com. Well, it's that time of year when the Santa Net returns to the air on 3.916 megahertz for its 20th consecutive year, starting on November 28th and running through December 23rd. It'll be active on Thursday through Saturday nights until December 18th, when then it'll expand to every night. The Santa Net is part of the 3916 net, which Pete Thompson, KE5GGY, is always active in. Pre-net check-ins can be made online at www.cqsanta.com. Ho, ho, ho! Applications for the 2026 Youth on the Air Camp will open up on December 1st, 2025. If you know a young ham between the age of 15 and 25 that would like to attend the camp on June 14th through 19th in Huntsville, Alabama, and have them go to youthontheair.org for more information. A club newsletter can keep members informed of news and upcoming events, keep them interested between meetings and activities, teach them about ham radio skills and technology, or even make them laugh, remember, or set an operating goal. Sky's the limit. The ARRL wants to see what your club does with the mix of information that can go into a newsletter. Enter the club newsletter contest for a chance to have your newsletter honored on QST Magazine. Here are the rules and requirements. The club newsletter contest is open to ARRL affiliated clubs that have published a newsletter for at least 1 year. Submit PDF files of 1 year's worth of consecutively published issues, ending with your most recent issue. If your newsletter is monthly, submit 12 consecutive issues. If your newsletter is bi-monthly, submit 6 consecutive issues. If your newsletter is quarterly, submit 4 consecutive issues. Submissions must include a completed club newsletter contest submission form, which is found at ARRL.org/club-newsletter-contest, which asks for information about your club in the newsletter, as well as a 500-word statement on the purpose of your newsletter and how the newsletter's content and design fulfill that purpose. Part of the judging process will include a comparison of these statements with the newsletter samples. Winners will be notified May 2026, with the awards presented at the Huntsville Hamfest, August 2026. Winners will be announced in the 2026 issue of QST Magazine as part of the ARRL's Year of the Club celebration. QST article may present material from the 500-word statement supplied in the Winners Club Newsletters Contest Submission Report. Please note that the winners may be asked to supply high-resolution files of specific newsletter pages. The Ohio Section Manager, Tom Sly, WB8LCD, has announced that effective January 1st, he will be stepping down as the Ohio Section Manager. At that time, Brent Stemmen, KD8SDL, the current Ohio Section Emergency Coordinator, will take over as Section Manager, and Matt Nicholson, KC8NZJ, will take over as the Ohio Section Emergency Coordinator. Thanks to Tom for all your work, and congratulations to the new appointee. Elections for the Okayan Amateur Radio Society will be held at the meeting on December 2nd at 7:30 p.m. at the usual meeting place of the Arlington Heights Town Hall, 601 Elliott Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio. Nominations are still open if you nominate your favorite candidate. So far, current officers up for re-election are President Ryan, AC8UJ, Vice President Chessie, KD8OOB, Secretary Steve, N8PUP, Treasurer Kevin, K8ZOZ, and Director 3-year term of Bruce, N8BV. To nominate someone, reach out to one of the members of the nominating committee, which are Drew, KE8JTL, Steve, KE8TEY, or Andy, K3CAQ. This will also be the holiday party as well. The Western Kentucky Parks on the Air meetup will be held on December 6th at the Lake Barkley State Resort Park for lunch at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So bring your go kit for a show and tell and do your activation before or after the event. The Queen City Emergency Net will hold their annual holiday party event on December 11th at 5 p.m. at the Red Cross Building, 2111 Dana Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio, where they'll have a short business meeting which will include nominations for the 2026 officer. They ask that you bring your favorite food items to share in the form of appetizers, snacks, dessert, and QCEN will provide the coffee, tea, or soft drink. As their custom, they will also be collecting items for donation to the local food bank and ask that you bring some non-perishable food items for this donation. All hams and friends of the QCEM are welcome. On December 13th, the Brunch Bunch will be meeting at 1 p.m. at the Cracker Barrel Old Country Store, 7399 Turfway Road in Florence, Kentucky. So if you want to sit down and have a great brunch and talk some ham radio after all that turkey talk, come on out. December 15th is the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club annual Christmas dinner at 7 p.m. at the Golden Corral, 4770 Houston Road in Florence, Kentucky. The Greater Cincinnati Amateur Radio Association 1936 Net will hold its annual AM night on Thursday, December 18, 2025 on 1936 kHz. Activities will get underway with the pre-net check-ins beginning at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The official net begins at 9 p.m. Eastern Time or 0200 Zulu and typically lasts around 2 hours. The net control station is Bill NM4A located in Union, Kentucky, and you can follow along with NetLogger. The net typically attracts about 65 stations from all over the United States during the course of the evening. All AM check-ins are welcome. This is a great opportunity to hear some classic AM ring, heavy metal, military, broadcast AM transmitters, and state-of-the-art software-defined radio, all on good old-fashioned angel music. The Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club is offering a free live online classes for you to get your amateur radio general class license. Classes start on Sunday, January 11, 2026. All the sessions are held live via Zoom and are free. For information or to register, visit tiny.cc/BEAHAMG.
Repeater news.
Are you looking for the most up-to-date list of repeaters in the greater Cincinnati area? Well, I have an Excel spreadsheet where I've listed repeaters that are active in the area, separated by tabs for each band or mode, so you can easily look for just DMR repeaters or 2-meter analog repeaters and so on. The list includes 2 meters, 220, 440, 6 meters, D-Star, DMR, C4FM, P25, and some other classifications. Every time I update the file, I include the date and the file name so that you know you have the latest update. To download the file, go to the AB4WS Radio Show Facebook page and go to the file section and download the file. If you're not on Facebook, email me at ab4ws.radio@gmail.com and I can email you the latest file. If you see any errors, problems, additions, or corrections, email that information to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Hamfest.
On December 6th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. is the Fulton County Winter Hamfest at the Delta American Legion Post 373 at 5939 Ohio State Route 109 and County Road F in Delta, Ohio. For more information, go to k8bxq.org.
Are you looking to upgrade your license? Do you have someone else that's interested in the hobby? Here are some upcoming exam opportunities.
The Milford Amateur Radio Club holds amateur radio testing on the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Please pre-register at milfordhamradio.org. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association has exams frequently. For their exam schedule, email exams.w8bi@gmail.com. On December 6th, the Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association will hold an amateur radio testing session at 10 a.m. at the Rittman Fire Department, 25 North Street in Rittman, Ohio. Please register at w8wky.org/license-exam. On December 6th, the Lake County Amateur Radio Association will host an amateur radio exam session at noon at the Kirtland Public Library, 9267 Chillicothe Road in Kirtland, Ohio. Walk-ins are accepted. On December 11th, the DeForest Amateur Radio Club will hold an amateur radio exam session at 6 p.m. at the Adams County Emergency Management Office, 31 Logans Lane in West Union, Ohio. Please pre-register by emailing k8weh@k8weh@awrl.net or on the k8ge.net website. On December 13th, the Scott County Amateur Radio Club will hold an amateur radio testing session at the Georgetown Police Department in Georgetown, Kentucky. On December 13th, the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will host an amateur radio exam session at 10 a.m. at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. To register, go to hamstudy.org/session/WC8VOA. On December 13th, the Tusco Amateur Radio Association will hold amateur radio exams at 9 a.m. at the Dover Faith UMC, 420 North Wooster Road in Dover, Ohio. Walk-ins are accepted. To register, go to w8zx.net/exam. On January 10, 2026, the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will host an amateur radio exam session at 10 a.m. at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. To register, go to hamstudy.org/session/WC8VOA. Special thanks to this week's content contributors: WB8VNH, KY4GW, WB8YYS, KD8ZLD, K9HIO, N8LAR, K4NKU.
If you have something you think other amateur radio operators in the area would be interested in, send the information or your recorded audio file attached in an email to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Covering your amateur radio news and information in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana tri-state area. This is Jack Prindle, AB4WS in Big Bone, Kentucky.